Hello guys, it's March 23, 2021, and you're watching me, Nikki, you also known as Basis Trader for the Philippine Market Update. Let's begin. Okay, so this is the WealthSec platform. You could see that the markets bounce a little bit, 51 points, and you're seeing that a few names actually fell down further. Let's take a look at the index today. So it's a green and red day. You've got some winners and a lot of winners, but also some losers. So market value is very low at about 4.9 billion. We've never reached below 5 billion pesos until around maybe March 2020 or April 2020. So we're seeing really a huge lack of volume interest in the Philippine market. The foreign net selling is another down, 690 million pesos. And let's take a look at which issues are actually up. Continuous uptrend for your pure gold. It's now trading at 40 pesos. We're seeing more buyers on Robinson's Retail, also up 54.75. We argued actually that 52 pesos last night was actually more of an anomaly because we do think that defensive industry should rise just as much like pure gold did. So Robinson's Retail catching up today. There's some good news on a few names. You could see that your properties went up today with SM Prime and Ayala Land trading 34.75 and 34.3 respectively, and Mega World going up a little bit here about 3.5 or up 3%. So your properties as a whole were picked up by the market. Robinson's Land didn't go up 17.8, but still it's near 18 pesos. Your SMs is 963. Your AC continued falling to 725. So from a conglomerate perspective, they're not all the same. From a banking perspective, they still continue to be bid up. So there's a support on your banks, such as your BDO at 105, your BPI at 83, your Metro Bank at 46. You're seeing strength across the board on your telecoms. PLDT is 1226. We'll see Converge later on. Your Globe is 1912. Although 1912 seems to be low for Globe today, we think this is more of a buying opportunity rather than a selling opportunity. So you have more leeway to buy more of these names as it goes down. Any consumer staple that's down today? Well, your Meralco is down a little bit. So it's not a consumer staple, but you'd argue that it's a stable name. But it's slightly down only at about 272 pesos. Your MPI, 378. Your Aboitiz Power, 23.95. Largely unchanged. Your URC is 122. Your AEV is 35.65. So you've got really more of a... It's just a mixed bag in the Philippine market. JG Summit is up 58.85. So you're seeing that some conglomerates are being picked up by the market. Let's take a look at the stats today. Okay, Dito Telecom still got some buyers today trading at 984, but largely unchanged. APL bounced a little bit, 10% up from 0.178 to less than 20 cents. Your pure gold is 40 bucks. Your BPI Ayala Land climbed back up. Primex is down 178. BDO, Metro Bank. Financials were generally up. Yeah. So some sellers continued forward for your speculative names like BHI, now trading at 8 cents. Your Converge is still at 1904. Jollibee tried to rebound today at 181. So you're seeing actually that there are some people who believe that although the COVID cases continue to rise in the Philippine market, some people are actually already bargain hunting, albeit slowly. So it's not a lot given that it's a 5 billion value turnover. Let's take a look at your top gainers for the day. Top gainers for the day are still your not your financials, but still the the speculative names. So some buyers on your Merrimark, 5%. Some buyers on your APL, which is up 10%. Those have about 250 million and 60 million. And then Pure Gold is the largest beneficiary of the sell-off with 40 pesos right now, trading 283 million value turnover. Where's losers? Let's take a look at it. Where's losers? You've got URC selling down 169 million, here about 122. A few more drops and we could actually pick up some URC on the way down. Yeah, and then 103 million on Aboitiz Equity Ventures. Yeah. Other than that, the rest have very little turnover. So Davin continues to drop here at about 2.51. So no one is willing to buy Davin. You could see that happening in the markets. Okay, let's take a look at people's any comments on Philippine market in general. Okay, there's no questions, but so I think like the Philippine market news is largely about the COVID cases. Let's take a look at the news fronts on your Inquirer in the Philippines. Duterte says it's illegal for the government to pay compensation for the vaccine side effects. COVID-19 cases are unlikely to go down in 2 weeks, according to Octa Research. Solon wants a review of government negotiation pact with Maynilad and Manila Water. Firms are now allowed to buy their own vaccines, said by the Palace. Hospitals are given until March 24 to use the AstraZeneca doses. And government plans to cut COVID-19 cases by 25% in 2 weeks. There's actually cases as well in beside Lucky China Mall. So really, COVID-19 updates are hounding the Philippine market. Confirmed cases as of March 22, 2021 is 670,800. Confirmed cases, the recoveries are about 577,000, and there's about confirmed 12,972 deaths. Unbelievable, says Senator Drilon, after Duterte appears to renege on an indemnity fund for vaccine side effects. So those are the stories in the Philippine market. Let's take a look at the business side, if any. What intelligent investors should do now that Philippine real estate opportunities are dropping. Let's take a look at what this situation is saying. Stockholders meeting for SM Prime, virus surges delaying infra projects, unemployment is a problem. Okay, this could be a paid ad, but either way, we'll see. This one is one of the good news happening in the Philippine market. There's a news that Globe Invest just started. So I just shared this. GCash will allow you to buy Globe, SM, URC, managed by ATRAM, maging owner, fractional shares, kaya mag-G-invest na. So kaya mo na to own Globe, SM, URC for just 50 pesos through the fractional shares. And when you own when you open a GCash, that would be good for Filipinos. And more importantly, it allows Filipinos to also own Apple, Amazon, Google, and Nintendo's for as low as 1,000 pesos. So there might be fees here, but I think that it's a good start for GCash to introduce easy global investing for Filipinos. We'll take a look at this news. Isa Cabrera is on a Zoom call with her 8-year-old son. This is a scenario that plays out. Yeah, social distance learning. She's now the Globe's new Deputy Chief Commercial Officer. So One Digital Nation. She was one of the first in the world of FMCG and then in telecom. Guevara Cabrera. She has legal, so she's a lawyer. She majored in legal management, working for Alaska, became a brand manager in an FMCG, marketing roles, Mondelez, first smartphone. She joined Globe as the head of the postpaid. Just months later, they launched the iPhone and everything just changed. Okay. Why don't you run TM's Globe's prepaid brand? All right. So, okay, democratizing data. You're seeing that actually in the Philippines, Globe is actually one of the companies that you want to be buying on the dips, 19, 18, 17. You're seeing a huge need for their products, especially in a world where everything is digital. And the company Globe is actually introducing a lot of subsidiaries, whether it be through their ability to allow you to watch esports, to watch your films, or allow you to do your social media, and in this case, GCash or G-Invest. So it's a fintech, not just a simple telecom. So I think that you have to watch out for GCash. GCash is now introducing telehealth businesses. Consulta MD, a digital tech company called AdSpark. We've got a lot of digital businesses. We kicked it off with 917 Ventures, and then the pandemic hit. So we were ready. So these are services that they didn't know they needed until the pandemic happened. Everybody uses GCash as a verb now. No one can go to hospitals because they're loaded. So Consulta MD na. Our telehealth is booming. So yeah. This is actually one of the few things that is bullish in the Philippine market, which is Globe. Good, good stuff to check out for those who are studying. We've got this Globe COO who is a mommy, and Miss Guevara Cabrera. Excited, scared, but fired up. Am I gonna be able to fill in on the big shoes of Alberto Larrazabal? Am I gonna live up to the expectation of the great Ernest Koo? We'll see. So hopefully bullish fronts for Globe GCash following the new COO, Isa Guevara Cabrera, the first female deputy CCO, Chief Commercial Officer of Globe. Yeah. Real estate opportunities, Inquirer. It's an advert, so it's an advertisement editorial. Nonetheless, we'll read about it. Philippine real estate opportunities says here that there are sustained land value appreciation despite the pandemic. Emerging business hubs have a 10 to 15-year horizon. So that would include your Makati, Taguig, Pasig, Mandaluyong, Quezon City, and Alabang. I would question this demand for office, but residential space should be continuous. The BPOs is the one that largely demands your office space, but it could have slowed down recently. Either way, says here that this industry is dynamic. Residential is, of course, strong because there are still Filipinos who need to buy a home for them to live in. So that's a requirement for most people in the world to have their own houses. Post-pandemic preferences, increased demand for condominiums and mixed-use developments. That is a foreseeable jump for affordable single-detached homes outside CBD, as more Filipinos are working and studying from home. It's actually due to the expense in CBD. That's why people are going outside CBD. So they want demand outside Manila, as long as it fits their budget. Okay, homes, halfway homes, investments for rents. Yeah, that continues. Okay. Location matters as usual. So look for a property that you love, whether it's your own home or to pass it on to your family members. So this is one of the advertisement, which is the Velaris Residences. It's a flagship development of RHK Land Corporation. Okay. It's a business district. What's this? Access to C5. As usual, CBD. Then a few things on that. What else? Yeah, Robinson's Land is one of the leading real estate companies in the Philippines. So Robinson's Land is a partner on this project. The Velaris Residences is Hong Kong Land and Robinson's Land. Oh, okay. So it's probably expensive when they do a JV. Remember when Robinson's Land actually partnered with Shangri-La for the Horizon in DGC? Very expensive, but yes, it's true. It really appreciated. High quality residential projects. It's catering to people who do have the money. So it's an advertorial, Velaris Residences. I'd assume that it's probably I don't know, something in the realm of 300K per square M. Not sure. It says here that it's about 7 to 15 million pesos take up of pre-selling. We'll see. Okay, let's search that. Velaris residences prices for sale. (2021) preselling.com.ph. It's about 12 million pesos here. Robinson's Land and RLC. Well, it just tells us that we argued to buy Robinson's Land at 15 pesos. So hopefully it just tells you how these developments are doing. This is the property, the amenities, the units, location. Talk to a specialist, the RHK land sales team. Doesn't have here the pricing. And it said 11 million. So I would argue that it's probably, this one is 12 million. A 12 million on a 46 square M. So roughly, 12 divided by 50. Well, how much is that? 12 divided by 50. Roughly 240,000 per square M. That's really roughly the prices right now, I suppose. So that's what this is a high-rise condo, a luxury property with 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. It's a first of a 3-tower plan development in Bridgetown by RHK Land Corporation. Standing tall, 45 foot at Bridgetown Pasig condo for sale. So they're doing pre-selling. They've got, well, you could see it all, preselling.com.ph, all of the videos about it. Okay. Let's take a look at questions. Good afternoon. Any thoughts on Nicolasia and FNI? Looks like they would fall further. The short term, I don't think that there's values or there's interest in the market for these two. So Nicolasia is still trading at about 5.1. And we do see some support at about 450. We'll see whether it can fall 10% lower in the next couple of days or months. FNI hasn't fallen yet, 230, also strong, but I'd argue that there are people who would probably take some profits with the market. Actually, they might have sold at about 280 already, but not yet willing to buy at these supports. I don't know, maybe you could still see a potential drop, about 10 to 20% lower. There's no immediate need to capture the market, to capture the drops. Do you see a URC bounce back soon? We don't see a lot of attention or volume on a bounce back soon. However, we do argue that, yeah, there will be a support at about 120 below. So you do know that there's a lot of supports here, about 120 to 102. So the lower it goes, the better off for the buyers. So it doesn't have to bounce back soon, but there will be people willing to buy at those support levels. What do you think about the hype about DD REITs? It's probably just a bond. So bonds are bonds, REITs are REITs. So real estate should be just a norm. I don't think that there's a huge hype, or I mean, if there is hype, I'd argue that it should be just tamed, because REITs are not like equities. REITs are real estate investment trust. You get income, 90% from the real estate dividends as a dividend. So I would assume that most of the time it's a stable 5%, or probably sometimes 6 to 7%, depending on how cheap the pricing is for each investor. So I think that it's a decent alternative versus time deposits. So it's just a higher interest rate for those who are looking for a bond replacement or a time deposit replacement. Yeah. Okay. That's it for the Philippines. Maybe take a look at properties if you want to check out some of them. Well, if you're bullish on the Philippine property scene, that would mean that you would be bullish when Robinson's Land goes down, or when Ayala Land goes down, SM Prime goes down, which we argue would be a yes. If SM Prime Ayala Land does go drop to about 30 bucks, if Robinson's Land again falls down to about 16 below, then it could be an entry point for those who are looking to buy into some Philippine assets in the residential segment. Okay, that's it. Although you could argue SM Prime is not residential, so prioritize mostly Ayala Land versus SM Prime if you want residential front. SM Prime is mostly malls, commercial spaces rather than residential. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.